CSS background property. Okay, so using CSS background property, so define the background effects of an element. Background property is used to define background effect to any element. Okay, so like background image, background color. Okay, so these are all CSS properties using background. So we can arrange background image or background color for any HTML element. Background position, background repeat, background attachment. Okay, so these are all background properties. So by using background image property, we can set the background image for element. We can set background image for HTML element using background color property. So we can set background color for element. Background position, here we can set background position of image. We can set background position of any image. Okay, image. So using repeat property, we can set repeat or no repeat for any background image. Repeat or no repeat. Repeat for background image. Background attachment, using this property, so we can set fixed image background image fixed background image. Okay, so we can do an example using background property. So add one HTML document, the background image. Okay, first of all background image. Okay, so assume that this is our application. Okay, in our application we need to display background image for HTML element. So we have to place images in our application folder only. Okay, so for that go to pictures and copy image and paste that image in our application folder. Okay, CSS is our application folder. Assume that. So we need to display this penguin's image in as background image. Okay, so here this is our image. In HTML, in HTML form header section, use style attribute, style element, and here we are displaying page background for entire body, so that you can use body element selector, background image property, and URL of. Okay, so URL is the path of image penguins.jpg. Okay, so you can run this example. Okay, so entire body background image is applied. So here, if you observe this image is repeated. Okay, image is repeated from here. So if you don't want to repeat the image, so we have to use background repeat property. Background repeat property and no repeat. Okay, and the next, okay, so background image is not repeated, but if you want to fix this image for entire body, so we need to apply background size. Background size property and 100%. Okay, refresh this page. So this image is fixed to the total entire body. So and next we can place HTML elements in body tag, development. In development we can take this content. Okay, after that we can write CSS for development also. Div width 300 pixels and height 300 pixels. Then background color. So here we are applying background color property for development. Okay, like the highlight color, and the next border 1 pixel border and the solid border style. Okay, line border. Next border color. Okay, so border color and padding 10 pixels. Okay, if you refresh this page, so you will get the output. For development, background color is applied, total entire body background image is applied, and for development background color and border and padding is applied. Okay, and here we used background image and background repeat, background size and background color. Okay, so like this we need to apply background color or background image for any HTML element or HTML form. So your assignment is do one example on background position and background attachment. Okay, so your assignment is background position and background attachment. And next, background after compare the background property. So next, border styles in CSS. Okay, so border style property specifies to display the uh, border for HTML elements. So using border property, so we can define border for HTML elements. Okay, so here we have 9 types of border styles. First one is dotted border, and second one is dashed border. Third one is solid border style. Fourth one is double line border. Next, 3D border styles is groove, ridge, insert, and outside. The 3D border styles: groove, fifth one, and sixth one is ridge, and seventh one is insert, eighth one is outside, and finally ninth one is none. Okay, if you set this property, so there is no border style is applied to the any element. Okay, so using border style property, we can arrange the border styles for any HTML element. So these are the border styles: dotted border styles, dashed border styles, and solid, double line, groove, ridge, insert, outside, and none properties. So I add one HTML form, border styles. So here we have uh, one paragraph. Okay, so in this paragraph, so this is the content. So I want to display border for this paragraph. Okay, so that use style tag in agenda section, and here I'm using ID selector or class selector. Okay, ID equal to p1. For ID selector, use as symbol, and p1 is the ID of paragraph, and the paragraph text color is red color. Okay, in real time you have to use color codes only. They don't use color names. uh, Red color code, and next border. So here border is the short term property. If you want to apply individual border styles, border properties, border color, border color, so color codes is Okay, so this is the color, border color, and width border width is 2 pixel, and border style. The border style is dashed, dotted, double row. Okay, insert, none, outside, ridge, solid, unset. So these are all border styles. So first of all, you can use dotted border, because these are the individual borders properties. If you uh, don't want to write like this, so you can use only border shorten property, border 2 pixel border. Okay, and a dashed border, and this color is ash F77E0A. Okay, so you can write like this for border color, border style, and border width. So if you run this example, the paragraph should be like this. Okay, paragraph border style, dotted border, and background color. Okay, sunflower blue. Okay, so background color and text color, border style, border color, and the border width. So you can go to inspect element. You can see here the properties. Okay, so this is the border width property. And next, you can take another paragraph for another border style. Paragraph ID P2, and the same paragraph content. For paragraph 2, same colors you can use here, same border, same background color, but your border style is uh, dotted. Okay, dotted border. So run this example. Dotted border for paragraphs, second paragraph. First paragraph dashed border, second paragraph is dotted border. Okay, these are all dotted borders. And next one is, so you can take another paragraph, P3 dash P3 border properties. Solid border. Okay, dotted, dashed, and next is solid border. Okay, solid border is single line border. If you want to increase the border, go to this. Okay, that is second paragraph. Okay, for third paragraph, Okay, you can increase the border like this. Okay, single line border. So if you want to apply double line border, use double border style property. P4, copy these properties, and here we can change the P4 and the double lines. Okay, so just we are changing style property. Okay, border style, dashed, dotted, solid, and double lines. For double lines, we need to give this border width 10 pixel. So refresh this form. You see here, two lines border. The background color is light gray. Okay, so see this two lines of border. If you use double property, and next one is copy this one, and the fifth property is fifth property double dotted dash solid double, and the 3D border is grow border. Okay, grow border style. So for paragraph fifth, refresh this form. So these are the 3D border styles. Okay, this is grow border style, and ridge border style is paragraph sixth. Copy this one. Ridge border style. Okay, so there is some difference between a grow and a ridge. Okay, see this boom border styles, and next insert and outside. So you can copy these two paragraphs. Okay, and seventh and eighth paragraphs. So here sixth one, seventh one, and eighth one. Okay, eighth paragraph. So for seventh one, insert, and eighth paragraph, outside border styles. Okay, so these are the inside property. So this is the outside property. Okay, so these four are normal border styles. These four are 3D border styles, and final one is non-border style. If you don't want to display any border style, so you can arrange border style none. Okay, ninth one, paragraph 9. Dash P9. Copy here, and border style is none. Okay, no border style is applied. So only paragraph is displaying and the background color is applied, and but there is no border style. Okay, So here we can set the double or single border styles. Okay, so if you want to apply individual border styles, you can use border. Okay, uh, border top, border right, border bottom, and border left. Okay, so for example, another paragraph is there, 10th paragraph. So I want to apply individual border styles for left, right, bottom, and top. Okay, 10th one. So I want to apply individual border styles for 10th paragraph. Dollar P10. So background, border top. Okay, border top, solid border. Okay, solid border, and the border right, dotted border. Border bottom, dashed border. Border left. Okay, and a double line. So you can apply this double line for top and for left solid. Okay, and next border width. Border width is 8 pixels. So see this example. Okay, so individual border styles. Border top double line, and right is dotted border, and bottom is dashed border, and left to solid border style. Okay, and the border width 8 pixel. So like this we can apply individual border styles also. Okay, for left, right, bottom, or top. So okay, so individual border styles allows us to specify different border styles for different sides. And next one is CSS visibility and display property. Visible and display property. Okay, so this display property specifies how an element is displayed, and the visibility property specifies if an element should be visible or hidden. First of all, visibility property or display property. So this property specifies how an element is displayed. The element is displayed, and the visibility property. So this property is to specify if an element should be visible or hidden. Element should be visible or hidden. If you wanted to hide an element in our HTML form, so we can use display and visibility properties. Okay, if you want to hide any HTML element in our document, okay, document, so we can use the visibility property or display property. Okay, visibility property and display property. For visibility property, so we can arrange uh, hidden value to hide an HTML element. For display property, none to hide HTML element. Okay, if you use hidden property, so you can set the hidden value. If you use display property, so you can set none value to hide an HTML element. Visibility hidden hides an element, adds an element. The main difference between these two, visible property and display property. So visibility property hides an element but still take the same space as before. Okay, visibility property hides an element but still take the same space as before. Okay, same space as before. So it will affect the layout. It will affect the layout of our HTML form. Layout of our HTML form. And display property, display non property hides an element, but it will not take up the same space as before. Adds an element but it will not take the same space as before. Okay, so here one example on visibility and hidden property and display property. So visibility and display properties. For example, here I have uh, three paragraphs. Okay, three paragraphs. First one, okay, ID P1, and second one is P2 and P3. Okay, so for example, uh, paragraph content. So this is paragraph 1 content. Okay, assume that. So this is second paragraph content, and this is paragraph 3 content. Okay, and display property. So I want to hide paragraph 2 by using display property. Okay, so now we can use style tag. So I want to apply paragraph style for paragraph 2. Display none. Okay, so now paragraph 2 is not displayed in our document. So run this example. Okay, so the here two paragraphs is displaying. Second paragraph is in hidden mode. Okay, see here paragraph 2, paragraph 3 and paragraph 4. So paragraph 2 hides an element, but it will not take up the same space as before. Okay, so it will display the page if the element is not there. Okay, so here display non-property. So if you want to display this paragraph, display set by this display property, display block. So now paragraph 2 is displayed. Okay, so paragraph 2 is displaying by using display block property. If you don't want to display this, display none property, so use it to hide an HTML element. And visibility property, visibility property, same paragraphs, but IDs is different. Okay, ID is different. Paragraph 4, 5 and 6 paragraphs. Okay, so I want to hide paragraph 5 by using visibility property. Hash P5 visibility property and hidden. Okay, hidden value. So paragraph is hide by using visibility hidden property, but it will take up the same space as before. Okay, so see here display property. Here two paragraphs is displaying, but second paragraph, that is fifth paragraph, is hidden mode, but it will take up the same space as before. If you remove the CSS property, okay, for fifth paragraph, okay, so see here it is taking the same space as before. Display visibility none. Okay, so if you remove the display visibility property, so paragraph is displaying as same as before. But if you apply visibility hidden property, so yeah, element is hidden, but still take the same space as before. But visibility, but display none, element is hidden, and it will not take up the space as before. Okay, if you use visibility property, it will affect the layout. If you use display property, it will not affect the layout. So these are the two different CSS properties to hide an element, visibility and display. And the next one is fixed position and a relative position in CSS. Fixed position and relative position properties. Okay, fixed and relative position in CSS. So by using fixed position property, so it allows us to position an element using fixed position property. Fixed position property allows us to position an element and the relative position is position allows us to position positioned positioned relative to its normal position. Normal position. So we have to use position property fixed or relative. Relative. So for example, say add one HTML document position. So we can take one paragraph. So paragraph content. So here ID is P1. So I want to apply position for this paragraph. Okay. So using style tag hash P1. So paragraph text color is the red color and position is center, okay, absolute, center, fixed and relative, static, onset. So all these are position properties. So here I'm using fixed property. Position is fixed and top side from top side 20 pixel and left side 40 pixel. Okay, from right 40 pixel. Okay, so from top 20 pixel right 40 pixel. So display this paragraph from top 20 pixel and right side 40 pixel. So that position is fixed. Okay, so this is the position of this paragraph. So if you want to change this position, So go to this top or right. Okay, so this is the way of changing the position of HTML elements. Okay, from right side, so you can increase this. Okay, paragraph width 30 pixel. And background color, okay, light green. And border, 1 pixel border. And the solid and black color border. Okay, and padding 20 pixel. Okay, so you can write CSS styles here also, and we can copy these styles and we can change here in our original document. Okay, so this is the fixed property. So if you place any number of paragraphs in same HTML document, so no one HTML element will never change this position for this paragraph 1. Okay, and we can copy number of paragraphs. You see here, so there is no change in first paragraph. Okay, so here number of paragraphs, but no one is changing this position. And next one is relative position. Relative and absolute. So here, so we can take two paragraphs or two div elements, two paragraphs. So we can copy these two paragraphs from here, paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. Style tag P1. Position is, first one is position, relative position. Okay, and paragraph width 400 pixels, and height 200 pixels, and border 2 pixel border, and solid border style. And so we can use black color border. For second paragraph, hash P2, position is absolute position, and top is 60 pixel, from top 60 pixel, and the right 20 pixel and width 300 pixels and the height 200 pixels and the border 2 pixel border solid and black color border. Okay, so if you run this example, so position relative and position absolute. Okay, so this is the position relative and this is position absolute position. So we can change this absolute. So if you remove this, paragraph is aligned to the left side. Okay? And the position absolute, position fixed, and relative and static. And next property is float property. CSS float. So by using float property, so elements are floated horizontally. So CSS float property, elements are floated horizontally. Horizontally. So element can only be floated left or right. Elements are only floated right or left, but not top, bottom. So here we can add one HTML form float property. So here one image element and the source equal to penguins.jpg and alternate text image 1 and width 300 pixels and a height 300 pixels. Okay, so I want to float this image to the right side. If you run this example, so image is displayed in left side, so I want to display this image in right side. Okay, so we can use float property to display this image in right side. Style image element float right side. Okay, refresh this form. The image is floated to the right side. So by default, float elements are floated to the left side. So, but we can use this float property to float the right side. And next property is overflow property. overflow. So overflow property specifies what happens if the content overflows an HTML elements box. So if content overflows an elements box, so we can use overflow property to specify visible or visible, hidden or scroll properties to the content. So for example, one HTML document is there, okay, overflow. If I have one div element, so in this div element, so we can place some content from here to here, okay. So this is the content in div element, okay. So if you run this example, so normal div element and with the content is displaying. So I want to apply background color and height width for div element by using style tag div element background color light gray color and border 2 pixel border solid and blue color border and height for div element 200 pixels and width for div element also 200 pixels. Okay, if you run this example to refresh this page, some content is overflowing, okay, some content is overflowing from this box, okay. So now, so if you want to display overflow content with the scrolling for development, so we can use overflow property, overflow scroll to apply scrolling for development, okay, without overflowing the content. So see this, so content is displaying in only development without overflow, okay. So scrolling is applied to the development. Or if you want to hide the overflow content, so we can use hidden, okay. Only visibility hidden is displaying, remaining content is not displaying. Display none to hide and event, okay. From here to here is displaying content, so remaining content is hidden, total content. So if you want to visible the overflow content, so you can use visible property, so overflow content is displayed. So if you don't want to display like this, you can apply scroll. Okay, so scrolling is applied to the device method. Okay, so these are the today concepts, and tomorrow we can continue with the CSS menu. Okay, CSS menus. Okay, horizontal menus and vertical menus. Two types of menus is there. So we can implement two types of menu styles, horizontal and vertical menus. Okay, I will explain tomorrow. Okay, all of you understood?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So assignment is background attachment and background position, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, fine.